Friends, gather around for we're about to delve into the wild world of American healthcare again. Buckle up because it's about to get bumpy. You see, there's a new bill on the table, part of the Trump agenda, and let's just say it's got Medicaid in its crosshairs. Now, for those of you lucky enough to be unfamiliar with the ins and outs of Medicaid, it's a program that provides health care to low-income Americans. We're talking about essential services for millions of vulnerable people, children, the elderly, people with disabilities. It's a lifeline. But some folks in Washington, specifically those GOP hardliners, seem to think Medicaid needs a bit of tough love. Their solution? Work requirements. That's right, because apparently being poor and needing health care isn't tough enough, they want to add mandatory employment to the mix. The idea is that able-bodied adults should work to receive Medicaid benefits. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, as with most things in politics, the devil is in the details, and these details are about as devilish as they come. So, what's the big deal with these work requirements? First off, the GOP is champing at the bit to get these requirements up and running as soon as possible. We're talking moving the deadline a whole 7 years earlier than originally planned. Why the rush? Well, some suspect it's got something to do with saving money, and we'll get to that in a minute. Here's the kicker. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, those number-crunching wizards, have crunched the numbers and come to a rather unsettling conclusion. Their projection? Nearly 5 million people could lose their Medicaid coverage because of these work requirements. That's right, 5 million people, many of whom rely on Medicaid for essential medical care, could be left out in the cold. Now, proponents of the work requirements argue that it'll encourage people to get jobs and boost the economy. But let's be honest, is forcing people to choose between their health and a job really the solution? It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline, well-intentioned maybe, but ultimately disastrous. Let's talk dollars and cents, shall we? The GOP loves to tout the potential cost savings of these work requirements. We're talking a whopping $301 billion over 7 years. That's a lot of zeros, even for Washington. Now, on the surface, saving taxpayer money sounds great. Who doesn't love a good bargain? But here's the catch. A 2023 study by the CBO, those pesky fact-checkers, found that work requirements didn't actually affect employment status or hours worked by Medicaid recipients. In other words, people weren't magically finding jobs just because they were required to. So we're potentially kicking millions off Medicaid, not actually improving employment rates, and all for the sake of cost savings that might not even materialize. Sounds like a fantastic deal, right? This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet, it's about real people's lives. People who rely on Medicaid to afford their medications, to see a doctor, to simply stay healthy. And as if the Medicaid showdown wasn't enough excitement for one news cycle, there are other health-related shenanigans afoot. Down in Florida, Governor DeSantis has decided that fluoride in public water systems is so 2024. Yep, starting July 1st, 2025, it's bye-bye fluoride, hello potential increase in cavities. Meanwhile, in a move that surprised absolutely no one, House Democrats are raising concerns about proposed cuts to scientific agencies under the Trump administration, because who needs science when you have alternative facts? But it's not all doom and gloom, folks. In a glimmer of hope, doctors have successfully used personalized gene therapy to treat an infant with a rare genetic disease. This breakthrough offers a beacon of hope for countless families and highlights the importance of continued investment in medical research. So, there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of the current state of American healthcare. It's messy, it's complicated, and it's affecting millions of lives. And as for the political implications, well, let's just say the 2028 election could get very interesting. Thanks for watching. Stay ready to control what you can control. This is real. Be able to work, find a job now before benefits are taken away. Like and subscribe, share with folks, and stay tuned for more information with GSS_GSD. Be well, be ready.